بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The greatest of all the bodily ibadat is Salah. Salah is the greatest of all the physical ibadat. So, of course, that's after the aqidah, that's in the heart. That's that we hold as a belief, but from the practical bodily worship. So today, we're going to go through a practical demonstration of the Salah, from beginning to end. And if you want the details, we've already covered them in the Sifatul Salah, in the description of the Salah, with the Adillah and the Quran, and Sahih Ahadith, and Khilaf of Ulama. I'm not going to cover any of that today. Today is just, how do you pray? And this will be a good video to forward to especially new Muslims or Muslims that are trying to learn the Salah in accordance to Quran and Sunnah, according to authentically established evidences on how to do it. So, when you begin the Salah, you have to have the shurut, the preconditions of the prayer in place. Yeah? We already covered them, so I'm just going to go over them very briefly. Right? Should be a Muslim, obviously, should be sane, should be somebody who is able to discern, so you have tamyiz and aqil. Those are obviously understood. But other than that, you're going to look at 6 other things. Right? 1, you should be in a state of tahara. What does that mean? Before you begin the salah, you must not be in a state of hadath. You must not be akbar or asghar. Meaning, you shouldn't be where you are obligated to perform wudu or obligated to perform ghusl. So you should be in a state of tahara. So you should be in a state of wudu. You have to have done your wudu. If you don't make wudu and you go and make your salah all day long, it is not acceptable. So you need to be in a state of tahara. Tayyib. Yourself and the place need to be clean. So your clothing should not have najasa, shouldn't have any filth on them, and the place should not be filthy. So if you're there in a toilet and there's urine and you make salah, it's not acceptable. Right? Now, if you're at a park or something and you don't know, then if you can, what you see is clean, you judge on the dhahir. The place is clean. Okay? So, other than that, you need to be facing the qibla. You need to face the qibla. Now here, for demonstration's sake, I'm not facing the qibla, but just because I'm not actually making salah. But regularly, you should be facing the qibla. Okay? You should be at a time where that salah is applicable, meaning dukhul al-waqt al-salah. What does that mean? If you're praying dhuhr, the time of dhuhr should have entered. If you're praying asr, the time of asr should be entered. If you're praying isha or so on, it has to be the time of that salah. You cannot be praying dhuhr and it's time for maghrib. Dukhul al-waqt, the waqt of salah. Tayyib, what else are from the shurut of salah? Your awrah should be covered. The awrah for the woman praying by herself in a dark room, nobody else around, still everything should be covered, including the top of her feet. The only thing that she can be showing is the face and hands. If her scarf is halfway up her head and all this hair is showing, her salah is not acceptable, even if she's praying alone. This awrah has nothing to do with non-mahram men. This awrah has to do with salah. The awrah for the man, from the navel to the knee, is a bare minimum, but not acceptable if you have more clothing. If you have more clothing, then the shoulders should also be covered. Okay? So even for a man. Now, if you have short sleeves and your elbows showing, nothing wrong with that. But your shoulders, chest, navel, down to the knees, it should be covered at minimum. And this is a minimum. Otherwise, you should always dress well for salah and cover as best you can. Meaning you should at least, out of respect, have either the silwar or izar, and then a thawb or the qamis, and then if you can, covering your head and so on, to look good for salah. But at minimum, shoulders, knee, all the way down to the knees. Tayyib. So covering the awrah, facing the qibla, making sure the time is in, having that tahara, place is clean, body is clean, you are clean. These are shurut of salah. And inshallah, the brothers will put the shurut on the screen so you can look at all of them and learn them all. These are preconditions. Okay? From the preconditions before you begin the salah is a niyyah. Your intention. You must intend for the salah that you're making. You cannot just be like, Allahu Akbar. Like, what am I praying? I don't know. I'm just going to pray. No. You need to know, am I praying Fajr? Am I praying Dhuhr? Am I praying Maghrib? Am I praying Nafil? Am I making Fara'id? What am I doing? Right? There is no script. You don't have to say, all these scripts that were made to memorize as kids, there's no such script. You just have to have the niyyah. Where is the niyyah? In the heart. You don't have to verbalize it. It should be in the heart. Okay? Niyyah is from the preconditions before you begin the salah. Now that you have all of that, we begin the salah. How do we begin the salah? The first thing that is from the actions of the salah is a takbir. What is a takbir? To say Allahu Akbar. If you say Allahu Al-Azim, Allah Bisyar Buzurgast, can you switch it out? No. This is what the Prophet ﷺ taught us. If you know the word Allahu Akbar, can you say God is the greatest? Some of our imma now, mashallah, all the adhkar are going to English, even though they're Arab, right? La. It has to be what the Prophet ﷺ taught us. If you don't know the word Allahu Akbar, learn it. It's very easy. Allahu Akbar. Right? Even new Muslims, the first day they're Muslim, we teach them, they learn it in a few minutes. Alhamdulillah. So, you have to begin with a takbir. From the Sunnah, to raise the hands with a takbir. Now we're beginning the salah, we're saying Allahu Akbar, and we're raising the hands. Raising the hands to the level of the shoulders. This is fine. If you raise them a little bit higher, to be in level with the ears, this is fine. Anywhere where from the shoulders to the ears. The palm of your hands should be facing the Qibla. Should be facing forward. What you do not do is this. See some of the brothers doing this? Red X. No, you do not have the side. Rather, you face the palms of your hands towards the Qibla. You don't stretch them out like this. You don't jump them up like this. Like this. You begin the salah. See? The more number of narrations that are authentic is to the shoulder, but there are sahih hadith up to ear level. That does not mean you touch the ears. Touching the ears is not in any hadith. So this is a bid'ah. This becomes a bid'ah. When you make this a practice, where you teach children, you have to start the salah by flicking the earlobes, this becomes a bid'ah, because there is no such hadith. Rather, if you raise them up to ear level or shoulder level, this is fine. Palms facing the Qibla, you say Allahu Akbar. Okay? Once you have finished, there is no need to put them down. When you finish, you fold the hands. Okay? Regarding the hadith about people, they used to have asnam, statues, and there's da'af in it, and whether it was done for a purpose or not, but you say the takbir, fold the hands. Where do you fold? Tayyib. You do not fold all the way where you're touching your neck. You do not fold on your neck. Some of the brothers, mashallah, Allahu Akbar. La, exit. No, you don't do that, right? And you do not fold like this. Allahu Akbar. La. This is not the correct way. The correct way is anywhere from above the navel to the chest, this spectrum that you have, you can fold there. You can fold like this, like this, that's all fine. So, saying Allahu Akbar, you fold like this is perfectly fine. An acceptable way to fold the hands. You do not do this, and you do not do this. Okay? You fold the hands. And you begin, what is the first thing you begin with? Not A'udhu Billahi Samiyal Alim, not Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Dua al-Istiftah. The first rak'ah, you begin with, and whichever one you mention, this is fine. There are other different ones that have been narrated in authentic ahadith. All of them are acceptable. For example,
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك.
In authentic narration,
اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم نقني من خطاياي كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم اغسلني من خطاياي بالثلج والماء والبرد.
all of those are fine. Authentic narration. So any one of these, dua and istiftah, you will have them on the screen so you can learn the Arabic and the transliteration and the English. These are beautiful azkar from the azkar of Salah. Use them. So this is the first thing you begin your Salah with. After dua al-istiftah, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. These are always said silent, whether it's a loud salah or a silent salah. All the way, including Bismillah, is said silent. So the dua al-istiftah is never said out loud. Occasionally the Sahaba may have done it to teach, saying the Bismillah out loud, to teach the people that it's there, but the regular way from the Hadith of Anas ibn Malik and others, that this is not said out loud. So the dua al-istiftah, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. You can also say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. That's fine. But the stronger narration having to do with salah is أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. But this is done silently. Then this is only done, this far is only done in the first rak'ah. But in every rak'ah, you will say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but silently, not out loud. We know the difference in madahib, but this is what is rajih from the clear, more authentic ahadith. It is done silently. What is in the silent salawat? You will continue. The only thing you will say out loud is takbir. Allahu Akbar. Then the rest of this will continue to be done silently. In the loud salawat, what are the loud salawat? Fajr, the fard of Fajr, not the sunan, but the fard. The sunan can also be done out loud, but it can also be done silently. But the regular way for the fard of Fajr, they are done out loud. So Fajr, Maghrib. The sunan of Maghrib can be read out loud, but they can also be read silently. But the fard of Maghrib, especially in Jama'ah, is best to do it out loud. So Maghrib, what other? Isha, is that it? Jum'ah, Eidain. Those other salawat that take the place when you have, for example, the Jum'ah salah takes the place of Dhuhr. So this obligatory salah takes the place of Dhuhr. Dhuhr is done silently, but Jum'ah is done out loud. This is what Allah and His Rasul have taught us. Taraweeh, when you pray it in Jama'ah. Qiyamul Layl, when you pray it in Jama'ah, those are done out loud. So loud salawat, you begin with what? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, which is Surah Al-Fatiha. So after the al-istiftah, after the isti'adah, after asking refuge with Allah, after the Bismillah, after saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you begin with Al-Fatiha. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided the Fatiha between the Abd and his Rabb. He began with what? He said, when the Abd says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So the first ayah of Al-Fatiha is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is said out loud in the loud salawat. It is said silently in the silent salawat. Tayyib. After Al-Fatiha, you will now, in the first two rak'at of the rak'atan of the fard salah, the first two rak'at of the obligatory salawat, you will add another surah. In the last rak'ah of Maghrib, or the last two of Isha, or the last two of Dhuhr and Asr, in those rak'at, you do not add another surah. You just recite Al-Fatiha. In the Nafal rak'at, you always add another surah. Because the Nawafil should be done 2 by 2. Nawafil should be 2, 2, 2, 2. Like Taraweeh, we don't pray 8 together. We make 2, 2, 2, 2, right? If somebody is making 20, they don't make 20 together. They make 2, 2, 2. So in those, you will always add another surah. Mustahab. And I'm not discussing the fard and wajib and rukn and that. I'm just explaining the salah today. So, if you're making, for example, dhuhr, in the first two rak'at, what do? You recite al-Fatiha and then another surah or a part of a surah. So when you finish al-Fatiha and you're going to begin another surah, do you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? Yes. Out loud or silent? Silent. So you say Wala-Dhalleen, Ameen, for example, loud salah. Then you say the Basmala, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, silent. Then you begin the other surah in the loud salawat, out loud. In the silent salawat, silently. So you add a surah or a part of a surah, or at least a long ayah, after al-Fatiha. So this is while you're still standing. Okay? At the end of that second surah, like for example, if you read Surah Qadr, right? After al-Fatiha, do you say Ameen again? La. What do? You say Takbir, raise the hands, Raf'ul Yadayn, and go into ruku. This Raf'ul Yadayn now, which some people leave out, this has been reported through mutawatir, numerous ahadith. It has been recorded in Bukhari and Muslim. Then there is 10 rewards from the hadith of Ibn Amr radiallahu anhu, that you will get 10 rewards for this Raf'. So when you make this Raf', when you're going into ruku, right? Then for every finger you will get a reward. So if you leave it, you lose 10 rewards. Why? Something that is established from the Prophet ﷺ. Why would you leave it? So you make the rafa and then you go into ruku. Now I'm going to turn to the side, show the ruku. The ruku, you keep your back straight as best you can and you look down towards the place of sujood. Okay? When you are standing in salah, where do you look? At the place of sujood. This is what is correct. Look at the place of sujood. When you are in ruku, where do you look? At the place of sujood. Now, I am in ruku, my arms are straight. They're not like this. Some people, they do this, I don't know why. But the correct way is, you keep your legs straight, your hands will be on your knees spread. You don't do this. Don't know why. For the woman, if she keeps herself a little bit closer, as we discussed earlier, but this I'm discussing generally. So, you keep your back straight, you look down at the place of sujood, your back should be as straight as possible. Here, not like this, not this, where people's heads are coming up sometimes, not going down, straight. Okay? Try to make it as level as possible. Don't hurt yourself, do it the best you can. Okay? Arms are straight, hands are loosely on your knees, looking at the place of sujood. You're not closing your eyes. Here, what is the dhikr? Subhana Rabbil Azim. That should be said at minimum 3 times for a complete regular salah. At minimum 3 times. You should increase it. Subhana Rabbil Azim 3 times or more than that. 5, 7, 9 onwards, right? You can make it, but at minimum 3 times. If you didn't even say it once, your salah is ruined. Right? But you should say this. There are other adhkar. You can get books of adhkar for the adhkar of ruku', use them. Okay? Subuhun, Qudusun, Rabbul Malaikatu wal Ruh. These adhkar you can make in ruku' and sujood. Any dhikr that is established from the Prophet ﷺ, use them. But even if you're using other adhkar, you cannot leave out Subhana Rabbil Azim. This is wajib. You must say this dhikr in ruku'. Okay? So this is your ruku'. You make your adhkar, you make your ruku', now you're getting up from ruku'. What do you say? You don't say takbir? No. You say Sami Allahu liman hamida. Rabbana wa lakal hamd when you're standing. And you raise the hands again. You're not going to say Allahu Akbar, but you are going to raise the hands. This is the 3rd place for Raf' al-Yadayn, and you will get 10 more rewards for this. So, Sami Allahu liman hamida. And then when you're standing, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. For the Imam and the one praying by himself or herself, for them, you say both of these. For the one praying behind the Imam, what you do not say, Sami Allahu liman hamida. Because the Prophet ﷺ told us in the hadith, when the Imam says Allahu Akbar, takbir, say Allahu Akbar. When it came to this, he said, when the Imam says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, say, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. He didn't say Sami Allahu liman hamida. So the Imam says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, and the Imam then says, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. But the people behind the Imam, they only say, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Now if you say, Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd, Allahumma Rabbana lakal hamd, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, Rabbana lakal hamd, all is okay. All four of those are fine. But to say Rabbana wa lakal hamd at minimum. Now, you can increase with other adhkar that are from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi, or the one with milda samawati wal ardi. All these beautiful adhkar, learn them, use them. Alhamdulillah, they're established. But you have to say Sami Allahu liman hamida for the Imam and the one praying by themselves. And for everybody, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. These adhkar are wajib, obligatory. You must say them. You can't leave these out. You can add other ones after that. Tayyib. So now we're standing. Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. Do you put your hands back down or do you fold them? What is correct from the Hadith from Salah ibn Sa'd al-Bukhari, Al ibn Hajar and the Muslim Imam Ahmad and others, is what is is to fold in Salah, so you fold. There's no Hadith that mentions irsal explicitly in this place. Neither is there a Hadith that explicitly mentions wad'a. So we go to the What is the You fold the hands back, because this is the place, fifth Salah. In Salah, to have the hands. So after ruku', when you come up, put your hands back, you make your adhkar. Now we're going to go into sujood. Going into sujood, you say Allahu Akbar, you say takbir, but you do not raise the hands. The hadith of, for example, Abdullah ibn Umar and al-Bukhari or Malik ibn Huwairat and Muslim, when they mentioned the Raf al-Yadayn, they did not mention. In fact, Ibn Umar clarified that Rasulullah ﷺ did not raise the hands and anything have to do with sujood. Okay? So, you're standing back up after ruku'. After ruku', you're back up, you make your adhkar, you're going to go into sujood. You say, Allahu Akbar, as you're moving. And then, what is correct, as Ibn al-Qayyim and others have mentioned, is to put the knees first, then the hands, and then the head. If somebody puts the hands first, nothing wrong with that. That is an opinion, as Imam Malik and others have mentioned. But what is correct, as you can see in Zad al-Ma'ad, you put the knees, then the hands, then the head. Here, you should, what is correct, to close the feet. To put the feet together. Right? If you have the feet apart, nothing wrong with it. But your feet have to be on the ground, so your toes are facing the qibla. Okay? 7 parts of your body will be touching the ground. Your feet, the bottom of your feet, the ball of the toes of the feet, and your knees, your hands, and your forehead. You should not have where, for example, your head's not all the way down, or your head comes down and your feet come up. If all 7 were not touching for a part of the sujood, your salah is invalid. It's very important that you keep all 7. Now, your head, what's going to touch the ground is your forehead and nose, whatever it can. You should not be putting your head in such a way that the top and then your nose and your forehead is raised. Some people, they make sujood, they go like this. This is wrong. Your nose and forehead should be on the ground. Your hands should be in level with your shoulders or your ears, however you make takbir to begin the salah. When you said Allahu to begin, so you know how your hands were? They should be like that in sujood. It shouldn't be that your hands are back here and your head's like this. This is wrong. Right? Some people are all, I don't know why they do this. And in sujood, your elbows should not touch the ground. Some people, when they do this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbids, men and women are forbidden from doing this. So your elbows should not be touching. They should be raised. For men especially, you should be stretched out. Not so much that you're overextending yourself, but you should be stretched out as best without, and if you're in jama'ah, being careful not to harm the person next to them. But this is your sujood. Your hands should be in line with your shoulders, if that's what you did, or a little bit further, not back here. This is your sujood. Now, in sujood, you look straight down. It is not from the sunnah to close the eyes. If something is distractive in salah and you close the eyes to kind of regain your khushu', as Ibn al-Qayyim has mentioned, and as Ibn Rajab and others, it's okay. But regularly your eyes are open in salah. In sujood even, you're looking down at the ground of the place of sujood. You have your hands spread out, your elbows away from your body. They're not touching the ground. And your feet are closed. This is your sujood. During sujood, what's the dhikr there? Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. There are other adhkar as well. Subuhun, Qudusun, Rabbul Malaik, or Ruh. This is the one I mentioned for ruku'. This is also mentioned in sujood. In Sahih Hadith, you can use this or many other adhkar. In the sujood, you can also make your own dua. In ruku' and sujood, you cannot recite Quran. You cannot recite Quran in ruku' and sujood. But in sujood, there are many adhkar from the Prophet ﷺ. But if you use some other adhkar, you still cannot leave Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la at minimum 3 times. If you didn't do it once, your salah is invalid, but regularly the minimum complete number is 3. So you should set that to be your minimum. If somebody did it once, your salah is valid, that's a different issue, but this should be your regular way. But you should increase from that. 5, 7, 9, 11, you can continue and make more, that's fine, but at minimum. With Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, you can increase your other adhkar. This is your sujood. After sujood, you say takbir and you sit in the jalsa bayna sajdatayn, in the sitting between the 2 sujood. In this sitting, you will sit iftarashan. Iftarash, I'm going to show you here now. You will sit like this. Your foot will be here. You will be resting your body on the foot. This is your left foot. Your right foot will be popped up with your toes facing the qibla. Right? Right foot up, toes facing qibla, left foot down, body resting on foot. This is iftarash. Between the 2 sujood in all your salawat, you will sit like this. When you sit, you will make a dhikr here, either Rabbi Ighfirli, or Allahumma Ighfirli, or Allahumma Ighfirli wahdini wajburni wa'afini warzukni warfa'ni, or any of these adhkar. But at minimum, you have to say Rabbi Ighfirli. If you didn't even say that once, between the 2 sujood, your salah is invalid. This is wajib, this is obligatory. Rasulullah ordered it. So regularly, at least twice, Rabbi Ighfirli, you should say. If you didn't even say it once, between 2 sujood, you invalidate your salah. Okay? So be very careful with these adhkar that are wajib. So this is between the 2 sujood. Between the 2 sujood. Your hands go back, as it were, and on your thighs, and you make this dhikr. Okay? Then, after you have made this dhikr, and your body is calmly in its place, your bones are all relaxed, you're not rushing, you're not doing this. Rasulullah forbid this kind of sujood. This is called pecking like a hen. He forbid sitting like a dog, like I showed earlier in sujood. He forbid pecking like a hen or looking around like a fox in salah. In this one authentic hadith. Some people, they do this. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Imams in masajid. This salah is invalid. And everybody praying behind the imam, their salah is invalid, and that sin is upon the imam. You cannot rush through this. If you say takbir, you go to sujood, you make your adhkar, you let your body be relaxed, your bones are in their place, then you say your takbir, you do not raise your hands, you say your takbir, you sit, iftarashan, in tashahhud, you make your adhkar here, Rabbi Ighfirli, or whatever from the authentic adhkar. You're looking at the place of sujood still. Now you will go back, relax. Your bones, your body has relaxed. There's a dhikr here. Right? Then you will go back into your second sujood, saying takbir, saying Allahu Akbar. And you will make your adhkar again, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, other adhkar that you want to make in sujood. After your second sajda, after your second prostration, you want to get back up, right? We mentioned. Now, if you are relaxed, it's good. If you sit for jalsa, istarah, if you like, if you need it, if you want to, you're overwhelmed or you're not feeling well, you're older or whatever, this is fine. Or you get up straight with takbir. Now you will get up from sujood, getting back up for your second rak'ah. Do you make raf'ul yadayn? No. There's no raf'ul yadayn here. We see people, mashallah, They want to gain more and more reward, but you can only do it where it's established from the Prophet ﷺ. So now you're getting up for your second rak'ah. There is no raf in the day. You get up, you fold your hands again. What do you begin with now? Your recitation? No a'udhu billahi samiyul alim, no dua al-istiftah, no. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, silent. In loud and silent salawat. In loud salawat, then you will begin your loud recitation with Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now your second rak'ah, you will pray in everything else except what we mentioned, like the first. You will recite Al-Fatiha, and then you will do the Basmala, then you will recite another surah, and then you're going to go into ruku' for your second rak'ah, like you did for the first. You make the ruku' in the same way, you get up the same way, you make your sujood. When you have finished 2 rak'at, you finished your second sajda, now you're going to sit for the tashahhud. If this is a salah that only has 2 rak'atan, for example, Fajr, okay, then this is your final tashahhud. If it's Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, we'll talk about that. Let's talk about like if you're praying 2 rak'ah nafil, or you're making 2 rak'ah before Fajr, or before Dhuhr, or so on. You sit iftarashan. You sit with your left foot down, your body resting on the left foot, your right foot popped up, your toes facing the qibla. This is iftarash, the same way you sat between the 2 sujood. Now you sit and you raise your finger from the beginning of your tashahhud till the end. From the beginning till the end, you raise the finger. You can close these 2 fingers, make a circle with your thumb and your middle finger, and point with your index finger. You don't have to bend it a little bit. The hadith is da'if. You just leave it straight. Okay? You leave it, and you will be looking at the finger. Other times you are looking at the place of sujood. The sunnah here is to look at the finger in the whole tashahhud. And you will begin with tahiyyat.
التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله.
Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu has authentically established, or any other authentically established tashahhud. Now when you do your tashahhud, when you have completed ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, we finish the shahada, if this is 4 rak'at or 3 rak'at, meaning you're going to have another tashahhud, then here you do not regularly recite salat ala nabi. You will now get up for your 3rd rak'ah. But if this is rak'atayn, this is 2 rak'at, then you will continue with salat ala nabi.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد.
Salat ala Nabi is a rukn. It's an obligatory aspect of your salah. You cannot leave it. If you leave it, even if you're in a rush, it will invalidate your salah. So you need to at least read the salat ala Nabi. After salat ala Nabi, it is mustahab. It is preferred to add other adhkar and dua, like Allahumma a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr wa adhab al-jahannam wa fitnat al-mahya wa mamat wa sharh fitnat al-masih al-dajjal, or so on. And the riwayat also come, Allahumma a'udhu bika min adhab al-jahannam, and then qabr. All of those adhkar are beautiful adhkar. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة. Here you can make this dua. You can ask for maghfirah. You can make your own dua here in tashahhud. This is the last tashahhud. Okay? But if it's a salah with 2 tashahhud, then you don't. Other adhkar are not. After the shahadatain, you get back up. So here you make your adhkar the whole time looking at your finger. If you're finishing, it's only 2 rak'ah. Then you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, looking at your right shoulder. Okay? Then you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, looking at your left shoulder. And your salah here, with rak'atain, is done. Then you can make istighfar and 3 times, and you can make your adhkar and so on. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would not leave his place until he said astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah 3 times, and Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam tabarak ya dal jalali wal ikram. These 2 adhkar are mentioned before moving. Then Ayatul Kursi, for example, or any other dua and adhkar that are mentioned can be done, where the Imam would then turn and then he would finish his adhkar. Now, if this is a salah that has 3 or 4 rak'ah or more, so meaning you have 2 tashahhud. You have 2 tashahhud. So here, this was your first tashahhud. You did it up to the shahadatain. And after the shahadatain, now you're getting up. You will get up, and as mentioned in the hadith, to rest on your fists or on your thighs. Both have been mentioned, but the fist is more authentic. Here, you can use this to get up for the 3rd rak'ah. Here, occasionally Rasulullah used to make another raf' al-yadayn, as Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu authentically reported. So you can make raf' al-yadayn here again, getting up for the 3rd rak'ah. Okay? Now you made the raf' al-yadayn, you said takbir to get up, you folded your hands. Now you will recite al-Fatiha. You will recite al-Fatiha starting with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, silently. The Fatiha will be read silently in all salawat, because the 3rd or the 3rd and 4th rak'ah are not read out loud. Here, after al-Fatiha, you will not add another surah. You will not add another surah regularly. If you did, your salah is fine, but regularly you will not. After finishing al-Fatiha, you will say takbir, make your raf' al-yadayn, go into ruku', just like you did in your earlier rak'atain, and the rest will be the same, except when you get to the last tashahhud, whether it's 3 or 4 rak'ah, but your last tashahhud, you made your second sujood for the last tashahhud, and now you sat, you will now sit tawarruk. If there are 2 tashahhud, only if there are 2 tashahhud in that salah. There's only 1 tashahhud, then you sit iftarashan like I showed you. But if there's a second tashahhud, then the sunnah is to sit tawarruk, where you will put your left foot out. You notice I am not sitting on my left foot this time. This time my left foot is out. Your right foot can be the way it was, meaning popped up with the toes facing the qibla, or it can be put down. Either way is fine. Even a third way is mentioned, where the left foot is resting on the right. But any which way, This is called tawarruk. What is key here is your body is now resting on the ground and your left foot is popped out. You are sitting like this, tawarrukan, in the second tashahhud when there are two. You will look at the finger again. You will do everything calmly until the end of the salah. You will make taslim like we had mentioned earlier, and that will conclude the practical demonstration of the salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us upon the sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.